7. And McCarron goes down the field, and it's caught and breathes in for the touchdown.
Two things that like that suck. Death, taxes, and 85 will always go.
Welcome to New Stripe City, a podcast for diehard Bengals fans. I'm your host, Ace Boogie. Thanks for tuning in and thanks for your support. I see you guys subscribing. I see you guys tweeting me. I truly appreciate it. I see you guys checking out the website. Just so you guys know, all three of those, our Twitter handle is at New Stripe City. Our website is newstripecity.com, and our YouTube channel is under the name New Stripe City. Definitely make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. I know a lot of you guys probably just listen to the show, but check out the YouTube channel. We do NSC Live, which is me and my co-host G that you guys hear me with when I upload episodes. And then I also do Game of Stripes, which is the PS4 Madden simulated, updated Bengals roster and other upgraded teams or updated teams. And they actually get to square off against each other. It's computer versus computer. You can kind of get a little glimpse at what may happen in the season. Obviously, it's Madden, but it's kind of cool to at least be able to see guys on the field when right now we're going through OTAs and guys are only in shorts. And we still have mini camp to go and then training camp, so we're a little ways away. With that being said, the last game that we had on there was the Bengals versus the Falcons. That was actually their first loss in the series. But it was a good game. Make sure you check it out. And if you subscribe, you get a notification that lets you know when I live stream. I drop a lot of live streams of the full games, and then I also do the highlights as well. Initially, it started out with just the highlights, and then I decided to start doing some live streams, but I'm still going to provide the highlights as well. I'm actually working on chopping up the Patriots game now, and then of course we'll chop up the Falcons game after that. But also make sure that you vote. I put a video up for you guys to vote, so if you need to know where to vote, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and that way you'll be able to click on the video that allows you to vote. But right now in the lead for the next opponent is actually the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which might actually be a pretty cool game to watch. I mean, Tampa Bay has Deshaun Jackson now, O.J. Howard. They have a little bit of weapons, and it's also one of the matchups in the preseason, so it's kind of cool to kind of see how that will kind of work out. So, yeah, make sure you definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel to check that out. Now, I want to touch on a couple of things. Obviously, we're all Bengals fans, so I'll just touch on some of the things posted out there by Jeff Hobson and some of the local beat writers and just give some of my thoughts on it. I'm not trying to take any of their shine or anything like that, but it was cool to hear A.J. Green, especially talking in, I guess, the way that he was kind of coming across in the interview. It was pretty cool. So let's first talk about how A.J. Green obviously notices a improvement in Cody Core from last season, which we just talked about Cody Core on the last episode. So if you haven't checked that out, make sure you do. I like Cody Core. I'm a Cody Core guy. I honestly think that I would rather keep Cody Core over Erickson. That's just my opinion. I don't believe that's the popular opinion, but I definitely think that Cody Core as a receiver isn't expendable at all. I mean, you're talking about a guy that finally got in for 5 games and was productive as a 6th rounder, and it looks like he's even taking his game to another level. When A.J. Green speaks, then you need to listen because his opinion is very important, and I think he knows what he's talking about when you're one of the best. I believe he is the best, and I will repeat, the best receiver in the NFL. I said it last year, way before he had the season. You saw what happened when he got those targets. I did the calculations. I said if this guy saw as many targets as Antonio Brown and as Julio Jones, he'd put up crazy numbers. He was on his way to that before he got injured. So to hear him give a big vote of confidence to Cody Core was definitely big. He also talked about Tyler Boyd, but the things that stuck out to me were that, number one, he said that he wanted to retire a Bengal who wants to play till he's about 36, 37, which I love because you've never heard anybody outside of him and Dalton say that they want to retire a Cincinnati Bengal. I thought that was huge. I hope that they don't mess that up. I don't care if A.J. Green was 45. I'm keeping him on the Bengals. And then he also talked about making sure that he wanted to win a Super Bowl, which I think that was big. I mean, he doesn't want to win multiple Super Bowls. He just wants one. I'm good with one, too. That's all we really need is just one. I'm cool with that. I'm on the same page as AJ with that. And that just brings me to my first topic. Why isn't AJ Green the captain? Can anybody answer that? I mean, and this is my thing, and I'm getting ready to post an article on New Stripe City about this. AJ Green deserves to be a captain. Okay? When outside people outside of Cincinnati that look at the Bengals, they only think about two players. And that's AJ Green. Well, maybe three. Let's put three. Let's be fair. But honestly, the third one is just because it's more from a negative light, but I really don't think he gets the respect that he deserves. But we'll touch on that. I think they think of AJ Green, they think of Andy Dalton, and now they think of Vontaze Burfict. But I say that because they only think of Vontaze Burfict now because of that playoff game, which honestly they should have been thinking about Vontaze Burfict a long time ago. He's one of the best linebackers in the league. But you would think that AJ Green would be a captain, though, right? And see, this is my thing. I think that the reason why he isn't a captain is because he's a quiet leader, which I don't think that's fair because quiet leaders are important too. If you look at some of the characteristics, and I go more in depth with this on my article that's coming, a lot of quiet leaders end up being quite successful depending on which environment they're in. Their teammates may respect them more, which you can see that with AJ Green. They basically are about their business and they're not about themselves, which is something else that AJ Green does. AJ Green goes out there, does his job. He does what it takes for a team to win. He's a team guy. And in a era where you got diva receivers like Odell Beckham Jr. and Antonio Brown, I mean, what's not to love about the guy? Why is that a reason why he's not a leader? I just don't get it. Leading by example, I think, is a strong indicator of somebody that can still be a captain. You can't. Everybody doesn't have the personality to be super talkative and anything like that. If you've ever watched an interview with AJ Green, he's a guy that really kind of keeps to himself. He's very similar to Julio Jones in terms of personality, but AJ will still give you little tidbits here and there. He won't be rude to you. He won't, not show any kind of personality. He definitely has personality, but he doesn't have to be the guy that stands up and says, "Let's go, guys, let's do." I mean, we don't really need a pep talk from AJ Green. He's going to go out there. He's going to do what he needs to do. I don't think that makes you a leader. That's just my opinion. A lot of guys that do that and then they can be rah-rah guys but don't back it up on the field, that, in my opinion, can have a negative impact. So why not let AJ be a guy that leads how he wants to lead? I'm pretty sure, like Andy Dalton said, whenever they have a miscommunication, AJ is vocal. So I'm pretty sure that AJ would be vocal if there was a mistake made by any of the teammates or anything like that. So I think that he should have already been a captain, but I mean, he's clearly taken on that role in other ways. I mean, the guy went out, he gained some more weight, did what he could do, and that's leading by example. That means that will rub off on guys like Cody Cord, Tyler Boyd, and guys of that nature. And I think back to when the Bengals had James Harrison, and James Harrison was jumping in hyperbolic chambers, getting all kind of stuff done, and that essentially rolled off on some guys. Definitely didn't roll off on all of them, but still there were guys that learned, okay, this is the importance of maintaining my body and things of that nature. That's still leadership. To be able to go onto the field and make a clutch play, to put your team on your back, that's leadership. And I just believe that AJ Green should be a captain. I mean, I can't even believe that we're still having this conversation in 2017. He's the best player on the team, and I will argue that with anybody. I mean, offense, defense, to me, he's the best player in the entire team. He's what makes the Bengals go. If you don't believe me, look at what happened to the Bengals last year after he got hurt. Look at what happened when he got hurt in the playoff game. I mean, yeah, he doesn't play both sides of the ball, but he impacts the game tremendously. And I also love the fact that the guy said that he doesn't want to come off the field. He doesn't want to come off the field. And I also like the fact that he's taken ownership of leading that receiver room, making sure that they don't try to put too much on John Ross, making sure that he's bigging up guys like Cody Core and Tyler Boyd. One thing, if you notice, I think the Bengals do respect his opinion. When AJ came out and said that we needed to reload on defense and offense, they definitely took him seriously. When he said that they needed to be active in free agency, I believe that they took him seriously. And some people may try to downplay free agency, but at the end of the day, they went out and signed Kevin Minter, which is a guy that's 27 that they've never done before. They went out and cut Ray Maluga to sign him. They attempted to try to bring Witt back. What else did you want them to do? They went out and grabbed Andre Smith. Yeah, he was a former Bengal, but he was still an unrestricted free agent. So I think when AJ speaks, they should listen, and I think that they're smart to do that. He's obviously the franchise player. It's pretty cool to see a humble, quiet beast kind of be, one of the leaders on the team. So you got to give him the captain. I also think that you have to give Vontaze Burfict the captain role. Now, I've never been around the team or anything like that, but just from what I've read here and there, and, we have mutual friends just because, there's some people that I know back in Cincy, but from what I hear initially during the week, Vontaze Burfict isn't really the loudest person until like game day. When it's game day, then he's turned up. But during the week, he was initially quiet, and it seems like he's taking steps as well to take that leadership mode, especially with Ray Maluga being gone, him being kind of the senior linebacker. There was an article that came out today that Hobbs talked about him being more vocal and trying to lead by example, going out and getting in shape. And I think that this could be, like I said on the podcast on NSC Live, this could be the best year for Vontaze Burfict that we've seen ever. I say that to say this. I think those two guys need to be captains. And I'm not going to really say anything else. Those are two of your best players on your team. Why not? And let them lead how they want to lead. Let's not criticize whether they can make a speech or something like that. People lead in different ways, so let them lead how they want to lead. That's all I have to say on that. Another thing that I'm excited about, Carl Lawson apparently is looking pretty good in camp. Obviously, it's just OTAs, but I'm really excited about Carl Lawson, and a good friend of mine, Moody, he actually was putting me and the fellas on to Carl Lawson a while ago. He actually mocked him in the second round, and he's been tearing stuff up, man. I think he's very athletic. I think that he can make an impact, and we'll see how things go with him. But, yeah, I'm definitely excited about him. I can't wait to see John Ross. John Ross is scheduled to graduate later this month. I think in a couple of days, honestly. So just think about that. John Ross is going to be out there. So hopefully we can just get through OTAs. Everybody can get adjusted, and we'll see how things go. AJ also seems to like or be fond of Joe Mixon, and I think Joe Mixon definitely has a chance to make an impact this year. How much, we don't know yet, but I think it's all going to depend with all of these rookies on how things go in the preseason. And then you can't forget that there are going to be impacts from other places like Nick Vigil. Nick Vigil's coming in, and he's looking like the starter at Sam. He's impressed Vontaze Burfict, so if Burfict has a high opinion of him, I definitely tend to agree with that. Burfict is a very smart player. He says that Nick Vigil is a very smart player. They're feeding off of each other. So, initially I didn't really like the Vigil pick, but, the jury's still out on that. I can't say that I called anything on that. So we'll see how it goes this second year. And then we also have to see what Andrew Billings is going to do. I think that that's going to be an interesting fight there. Obviously, there's so many defensive linemen that are in competition this year, but I can't wait. Just like I was talking to Larry Black on the last show, can't wait to see Billings with Burfict. Oh, my God, that's going to be a nasty 1-2 punch, especially with Geno in there, too. Whew. Goodness. That's something that I'm looking to see. I really want to see what they're going to do with William Jackson III. I mean, they said that they were going to play him a lot more last year. It seems like they're more so tending to favor Darqueze Dennard, but there was, I think, a note from Hobbs that said that William Jackson III has been guarding A.J. Green in camp, which I love that. I would love to see what he can do. He's definitely taking advantage of this time with A.J. out. Other than that, I think some of the things that I'm also hearing is that the offensive line, as far as the reserves from left tackle to, some other parts in the line, are really inexperienced. And I'm almost tempted to want to do the same thing that I did with Brandon LaFell, which is I actually reached out to Brandon LaFell's agent and sent them an email saying, if there was any interest from the Bengals to kind of, get things going, at least for them to reach out to the Bengals. I might have to do the same thing for some of these left tackles out here. Like, I might have to just hit up King Dunlap's agent and say, hey, Bengals, have they been in contact or no? Or, I might have to, Ryan Clady might, get hit up, bro. Because, yeah, if what Jim Oswarski is saying as far as, there's like practice squad, street clothes guys out there getting great snaps at left tackle, nah, bruh. I mean, nah, bruh. It's just not gonna work. We can't have that. We can't let that happen. But yeah, man, make sure you guys also shoot me any questions that you may have. If there's anything that you guys want me to touch on, it's the off season, so I'm free to answer you guys' questions. And just know that I have some exciting content planned for the future. I don't want to speak on too much of it yet, but make sure you stay tuned for next Thursday's show. I'm going to have a special guest on to talk about running backs. I know we've talked about running backs for a little bit, but you're not going to want to miss this one. And then I'm also working on a possible, I can't confirm it yet, but a possible interview with one of my favorite Bengals and a guy that I think is in a roster battle this year. But I think that he should be able to make it. And, if he does end up doing an interview, then I'll let you guys see who it is. But if not, we'll keep pushing. And hopefully he still does make the Bengals this year. I think that he should. But, yeah, like I said, make sure that you follow us on Facebook. Make sure you follow us in the iTunes store, in the Google store. We're everywhere now. Podcast Garden, newstripecity.com. Check us out. But as usual, I'll leave you guys with a who day, all day, every day, and especially on Sunday.
Always business. Never personal.
Here's a 3rd and 7. And McCarron goes down the field, and it's caught and breathes in for the touchdown.
Two things in life that suck: death, taxes, and 85 will always